A shorter day, we don't have too much more to talk about muscles, so the last bit we can use to review, if you had any review questions. Before we move on, I want to talk about the podcast update. So last Friday was the due date, was when you were supposed to turn in your podcast kind of groups and topics. So I looked them over, and for the most part they look good. If you haven't, go back and check your post. I sometimes comment on them to tell you something about your topic or group. So for instance, some groups had a very large, broad topic, and so I said, be careful, find 2 or 3 papers and try to focus what you want to talk about. Sometimes your topic seemed interesting, but I couldn't figure out, from just the topic, I couldn't figure out what kind of takeaway message or main point you want to give your audience. So I made a comment about that. Just keep in mind that you need to give a takeaway message of this. It's not going to be some such as here's some information, hope you enjoy kind of thing. You're supposed to have some kind of takeaway for your audience that they can take and use or whatever, make their life better, something like that. So just keep that in mind. I made those comments. So if you haven't checked the discussion board, go do that. And then secondly, there is the second assignment is up. It's due not this Friday, but next Friday before midnight. And it's the podcast proposal. And so the idea here is you're going to get a little bit more focus. You're going to give me a title, what exactly the title of your podcast is going to be. And then you're going to basically give me the citations and PDFs of your 2 to 3 papers. And keep in mind, these are research articles. This is not some website blog. This is not some article on some website. This is an actual peer-reviewed research article, so from some journal. This is not Wikipedia or anything like that. These are actual articles written by actual researchers. And all 2 to 3 of them have to be that way. So you're going to give me the title, you're going to give me citations and the PDFs, and you're going to tell me whether you're going to do an audio podcast or you're going to be brave and do a video podcast. Up to you. So so I have a text box and upload for this assignment, and this is worth just 5 points. It's pretty simple. I'm just getting you guys to commit to something. And so there's going to be a text box where you can type in your citations, type in your title, type in whether you're going to do audio and video, and then you can upload your PDFs just before next Friday. So once again, pretty simple, but once again, just getting you to commit to finding papers, getting ready to do that part. The step after this is going to be the big one. So not this assignment, but the next assignment. This is when you're going to start writing up details about what you want to present, the information, basically the written version of your podcast. Yes?
If we were to update, could we update more citations? Or
more than 3?
Yeah, or for example, if we decided not to use this citation resource and we found another resource, would we be able to change it?
Oh, change it after the podcast proposal?
Right.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna say don't go over 3.
Right.
The reason I picked 3 is so you don't pick a humongo topic and then give me 12 citations, and then your podcast is an hour long and whatnot. So remember, these podcasts are just 20 minutes, and so keep to the 3. I think that kind of is a nice way to make sure you're not going too broad. And yeah, you can feel free. You can even change your topic right now to something else if you really want to. But the more you change it, probably the less prepared you're going to be as you get to the podcast. So I say refrain from doing that too much, but if you just find something that's really worth changing to, like a brand new paper, whatever, that's totally fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions about this? No? Okay. I saw some pretty good topics out there, so I'm excited for this. And we can talk more about how to record a podcast, how to edit it. Yes, you'll have to edit it, and things like that as we get closer to that. But just keep these things in the back of your mind as you get there. Don't just, if you pick your topic and your papers and this week, then good. You can then use that the week after that to start on your project. Don't have to wait for the next assignment to be turned in before you start working on another one. Start working ahead of time. You're going to thank yourself later because as we get closer to the end of the semester, things are going to get busier. You're going to get your second lab report. You're going to have journal discussions. There's a lot of things to do towards the end, not only the podcast. So if you have extra time, take advantage of it. Don't just put it off. All right, cool. So let's do a review. So here we have the excitation, contraction, coupling event. We have all the steps, including the steps to a relaxation here. It's a lot of information. I don't expect you to like study this figure right now. You need to know it eventually, but it's really tiny print just to put it there to remind you guys what we're talking about. And this is what I really want you to think about here. So given a single twitch, so basically one impulse from your neuron, you get this contraction, relaxation. I want to know qualitatively what will happen to a single twitch when you do one of these three things. When you increase the number of calcium ATPases, so your sarcoplasmic reticulums just have more of them, what will happen to your single twitch? What happens if troponin has a greater affinity to calcium ions? Remember, troponin are the pieces on tropomyosin. Tropomyosin covers the thin filament, and troponin, when it binds to calcium, that moves the tropomyosin, so the myosin head can attach onto the actin chains. And then what happens if just the sarcolemma is hyperpolarized? So that means it has a more negative membrane potential, so something that's lower than negative 70 millivolts. So talk to your neighbors, think about it. These are real thinky questions, and questions that I can tell you are probably going to be on the exam Thursday. So yeah, talk it out.
And that pushes the tropomyosin out of the brain. So the myosin is now attached to the tropomyosin. It connects and it pushes it forward. And then it happens again and it pushes it forward. So if you can remember that, the tropomyosin is that myosin and tropomyosin is that barrier that blocks it from moving. So it happens. And then you have to, figure out what is it for tropomyosin, myosin, what is it? After it's like a screen.
But not about you. I don't know. Last week. Oh, before you had
The rats discovered my guava tree.
You gotta pick them now before they go away.
I put those strawberry clamshell things over the groups of them on my tree, and that seems to deter them. But I also have an enormous avocado tree, and my crops with the season an enormous small rain last year. So I need to get an owl.
I can show you the book. What it is in the normal cell.
My dog.
let nature take care of
Well, my dog decimated the feral cat population in my neighborhood. So.
And the muscle cell is called in the cell, it's
Okay, let's talk about these. So, what's going to happen to our? Whoops. What happens going to? So what I've drawn here to the left column is what it'll look like if you didn't change anything. This is a normal twitch.